Okay? Well, let's talk about this hardness. As it is written, God gave them this is verse 7 and 8. But the elect did. The others were hardened. As it is written, God gave them a spirit of stupor, eyes so that they could not see, and ears that they could not hear, to this very day. Okay, this is a hard verse. Okay, this implies that God is giving people, look, God gave them a spirit of stupor, eyes that could not see, ears that could not hear, to this very day. Here's what this looks like. Let's go to John 12 real quick. I'm going to set it up to look really bad first, and then I'll show you why it's not as bad as it looks. So I'll just warn you. John chapter 12. 35 to 41. John 12, 35 to 41. Here we go. This is after the triumphal entry. That is 12:12. That's this Sunday. You guys who are in the church, we're sort of doing this coming Sunday, or maybe it's next Sunday. Palm Sunday, this Sunday, or next Sunday? Next Sunday. Is it? Some are saying this, some are saying next.
It has to be this because what happened.
Okay. This Sunday, right after, this is the context in which we're reading. What's going to happen this Sunday. Jesus comes into Jerusalem. The crowds are saying, "You're the Messiah. You're the Messiah." And then Jesus speaks to them. And it's funny, in verse 20, there's Greeks that want to see him, non-Jewish people. And Jesus says, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. I tell you the truth, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds." And Jesus is predicting his death here. This is not what the people thought was going to happen. Triumphal entry, the Messiah is here. He's the king. This is good. And all of a sudden, Jesus starts talking about his death. And he says, "Look, I have to die." And he uses a planting illustration, right? You take a kernel of corn, one little kernel, and when that gets put in the ground, it springs up and produces a plant that makes a ton of other kernels. And he's showing that, look, when I die, I'm going to accomplish salvation for many. Many will be saved by my death. That's Romans 5. If you guys like to further your understanding of Romans, come on Monday to Panera Bread. We're in Romans 5. It's exactly what we're going to be on. Now watch this. Go to 35. 12:35. Jesus told them, "You're going to have the light just a little while longer." He's referring to himself as the light. "Walk while you have the light, before darkness overtakes you. The man who walks in the dark does not know where he's going. Put your trust in the light while you have it, so that you may become sons of the light." So Jesus is offering himself. He's like, look, come to the light. I'm not going to be here much longer. A week. And then he did resurrect, and he was there for another little while, and then he was gone. But come to the light while you still have it. Because he says the darkness is coming. Before the darkness overtakes you, come to the light. When he finished speaking, Jesus left and hid himself from them. That's the crowds. Hosanna, Hosanna, the crowds. Even after Jesus had done all these miraculous signs in their presence, they still would not believe him. This was to fulfill the word of Isaiah the prophet. And he's quoting Isaiah now. "Lord, who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed?" For this reason they could not believe, because as Isaiah says elsewhere, he has blinded their eyes and darkened their hearts, so they can neither see with their eyes, nor understand with their hearts, nor turn, and I would heal them. Isaiah said this because he saw Jesus' glory and spoke about him. Verse 41 is really interesting, because the passage quoted here is from Isaiah chapter 6, And if any of you know about Isaiah chapter 6, it is sort of the glorified Lord in his glorious state, and he's sitting on the throne, and Isaiah goes into the Holy of Holies, and he sees the Lord high and lifted up, and the train of his robe fills the temples, and there's 2 angels on each side with 6 wings, and 2 of them covering the feet, 2 of them covering their face, 2 of them are flying, and they're saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The earth is full of his glory. And if you know the story, Isaiah is terrified. I'm a man of unclean lips. Woe is me, he pronounces a curse on himself. And then God cleanses him. He takes a coal, one of the angels takes a coal from the altar and touches his lips, because he just confessed, I'm a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. And God cleanses him, forgives him. And God says, who will go for us? And Isaiah's like, I'll go. And then he says, look, you're going to go, but this is what's going to happen. They're not going to hear. They're not going to listen. He has blinded their eyes, deadened their hearts, so they can neither see with their eyes nor understand with their hearts nor turn, and I would heal them. And what's interesting about 41 is Isaiah said this because he saw Jesus' glory. What this verse is telling us, what John's saying is, look, that was Jesus in Isaiah chapter 6. And Isaiah saw Jesus in his glory. And if you know anything about Isaiah, read it. It's a crazy book, and it's about judgment because the people have turned from God. I mean, judgment's disgusting, like you're going to eat your children. Judgments, that kind of stuff. Like, one woman's going to say, we'll eat my kid tonight, and then next night we'll eat your kid. Because the famine will be so great. There will be no food. And you'll have to eat your kids to stay alive. It's that kind of book. Okay, and because of unbelief. They're unbelieving, they've turned to idols, and it's a judgment book. But also, Jesus is pronounced in the book. Over and over. Isaiah 53, one of the most clearest places in the Old Testament to see Jesus that you'll ever see him. Isaiah 53. Okay? So it looks bad. It looks bad. He's blinded their eyes, deafened their hearts, so they can neither see with their eyes, understand with their hearts, nor turn. And he would heal them. It looks bad. Alright, I'm going to do this. Look at 35 again very quickly. And this is where we're going to start to get deep and start to move fast. You are going to have the light just a little while longer. Walk in the light while you have it. Or walk while you have the light before darkness overtakes you. The man who walks in the dark does not know where he's going. Put your trust in the light while you have it, so you may become sons of light. Go to 2 Corinthians real quick. I'm going to venture to explain now the way in which God actually does these things that the text is saying he does. Blinding, hardening, deafening. How does God do this? And if he does do this, how in the world are people still responsible? You got to ask that question. Okay? And it's a both and. They are responsible, and he is doing this.